The popularity of badminton and China's large population have made the country the strongest badminton nation in the world. As players fall past their prime, there's seemingly always another in line. Today, we want to focus our attention on potentially China's next men's singles badminton superstar, 18-year-old Zhe An. He's your 2024 World Junior Champion and has a unique playstyle that caught our attention where he hits to the middle very often. How does he win games without moving his opponents around? Let's find out in this video. When you watch Zhe An play, you'll notice that the vast majority of his shots go to the middle. Many coaches will tell you to hit to the sides and move your opponent around, so it definitely comes as a surprise to see a player at such a high level not open up the court completely. But there are good reasons to play to the middle. The first is that it reduces the number of errors you make significantly. When you're under pressure and your touch is not there, it's vital that you play easier to execute shots that will help you get into the rhythm of the game. Playing conditions also differ, especially in large halls, where there are often drifts that can cause the shuttle to fly unexpectedly. That's why Zhe An often plays within these imaginary lines. The result is that even if Hu hits a shot that flies slightly further than where he originally aimed, it often ends up being a good thing where the shot stays in. If you watched our video on why you should block middle in badminton, you'll also know that playing shots to the middle reduce the angle of returns that your opponents can play. This often makes your opponent's returns much easier to deal with, as the softer angle generally forces your opponent to play a slower shot. People often forget that winning off your opponent's mistakes is still a win. Someone like Zhe An is often more patient than his opponents. When the rallies get longer due to Zhe An keeping it going from playing more toward the middle, his opponents often feel the need to force a winner and make mistakes doing so.
Again, playing that high line. Very cautious, careful.
Of course, simply playing a shot to the middle is not going to win you games. You can be very consistent, but ultimately, playing a shot to the middle gives your opponent the same benefits that you receive. You may reduce the return angles and make less mistakes, but the same goes for your opponent. A shot to the middle is most of the time going toward to your opponent, which makes it easier for them to retrieve. Thus, you need a little bit of something extra to win. What makes Zhe An good is his ability to play around the middle, and particularly his skill around the front court. First, let's talk raw ability. Zhe An's net play is simply better than most of his opponents. What most people like to do with a shot played towards the middle is net. Hu knows this very well and has developed phenomenal net skills. He does a really good job of respinning his opponent's spins, which forces his opponents to stay further up at the net. And when Hu's opponents begin moving closer to the net, then his pushes and lifts become very effective, where his opponents are unable to attack because they're so far up. Zhe An's shots at the front court are also all very deceptive. He does an exceptional job of following the shuttle and then changing his shot last second. It's not like other players don't do this, but it's noticeably clear that Zhe An has spent more time practicing being more deceptive, specifically around the middle, where the technique to play certain shots is often different than when shots are played to the corners. For players who have spent most of their lives practicing their ability to pin the lines and play to the outside limits of the court, it can be very difficult dealing with a player like Zhe An, who is exceptional at playing around the middle. That's one thing we really like about Zhe An. His strategy is to generally neutralize in the back, play around the middle, and win at the net. It pairs well with his skills and vice versa, showing good focus and direction in gameplay, which unfortunately you don't necessarily see in all players today. As mentioned in some of our other videos, having focus and direction in your training is key to improving faster. Finding a strategy and putting emphasis on practicing the skills required to execute the specific strategy will help you become a deadly player much quicker than practicing a little bit of everything. Now, even though it's pretty clear that Hu often plays to the middle and around the net, he still manages to be an unpredictable player. This is due to the number of pace changes and shot variety Hu has in his games. We can look at the front court first. We already talked about net spins and deceptive pushes, but he also uses drives and far blocks to change up the rally and punish his opponents for not being ready. His backcourt is also extremely diverse with slices, stop drops, and punch clears mixed in with fast smashes and drives. All of these different shots make it difficult for his opponents to anticipate and move smoothly, as they're continuously guessing what Hu is going to play. Really, Hu's only major weakness is that he lacks the physicality and power that many players have at the senior level. If Hu wants to continue playing his game around the middle of the court, the natural progression is to develop faster shots that your opponents have lots of trouble dealing with. This is something that should develop as he gets older, but it's hard to predict the future. It's also difficult to tell if Hu's techniques and strategies will be at the same level as top senior players. The only senior tournament he has played so far is the 2024 Baoji China Masters, where he won against his older teammate Wang Zhengxing in 3 games. If we use that as an indicator, Zhe An is probably around top 25 to 50 in the world at his current level. It'll definitely be interesting to see how he develops and how he fares at the senior level. What do you think? Do you think Zhe An will become China's next men's singles badminton star? Let us know in the comments below. Additionally, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all our future content.